Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. In an interview with Vatican media, the Holy Father Pope Francis shared his thoughts on St. Joseph and fatherhood in the context of the recently concluded Year of St. Joseph. When asked about what the Church can do to strengthen again the father-son relationship that is so fundamental for society, the Pontiff said that the Church should not just be maternal. Instead, he said that the Church should also be paternal, adding that the Church has to rediscover its paternal aspect, that is, placing children in the condition to take on their responsibilities and to make choices just like St. Joseph. The Pope said that God's love is not limited to forgiving and healing. Rather, it spurs everyone to make decisions and to go out to see. Answering the question about how priests can be fathers, Pope Francis said that priests have to learn as much a little at a time by recognizing himself as a son of God and then as a son of the Church. Thousands of pro-life advocates, families and groups will gather today for the March for Life in Dallas in northern Texas to call for the protection of the unborn. It was in this city that the Roe v. Wade ruling that legalized abortion in the United States originated. Pro-lifers from around the state will assemble at the Guadalupe Cathedral for the state's largest pro-life event, followed by a march to 1100 Jackson Street to rally at the Earl Cabell Federal Building. Bishop Edward Burns of the Catholic Diocese of Dallas, Pastor Zach Neese of the Gateway Church, and Chief Executive Officer of Houston Pregnancy Help Center Sylvia Johnson-Matthews will address the rally. The event is sponsored by Texans for Life, the Diocese of Fort Worth's Respect Life Office, and the Dallas Diocese's Respect Life Ministry. More than 60 million children have been killed since 1973, when the US Supreme Court legalized abortions in all states. The Holy Father has approved the motto for the upcoming Jubilee Year in 2025. After an audience with Pope Francis, Archbishop Rino Fisichella, who is the president of the Pontifical Council for Promoting New Evangelization, said that the motto of the Jubilee will be Pilgrims of Hope. He said the words represent key themes of Pope Francis's pontificate. The prelate said that work has already begun for the Jubilee, and one of the key areas is to be the reception of pilgrims. Normally, a Jubilee is celebrated once in every 25 years, with the exception of the extraordinary Holy Year of Jubilee in 2015. Each Jubilee is a special year of grace in which the Church offers believers the possibility of obtaining a plenary indulgence. Traditionally, they begin just before Christmas and end on the Epiphany of the following year. Each begins with the Pontiff opening the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. The Bishop Emeritus of Hong Kong, Cardinal Joseph Zen Zhe-Kun, has turned 90 years old. In a Facebook post, Cardinal Zen thanked the Lord for the gift of life and for his Salesian priestly vocation to be a servant of God for everyone. The senior prelate said, "All these years I always ask myself, did I make the plans that God has for me? I hope I have never let the Lord down. Thank you with all my heart." On Thursday, Cardinal Zen had a simple birthday celebration with his successor as Bishop of Hong Kong, Cardinal John Tong Hon, and new Bishop of Hong Kong, Stephen Chow Sao Yan, who wished him the abundant grace and blessing of the Lord. Born on January the 13th, 1932 in Yangqing Pang in China, he joined the Salesians and was ordained a priest in 1961. He served in seminaries in China and Hong Kong. He was appointed Coadjutor Bishop of Hong Kong by Pope St. John Paul II on September the 13th, 1996, and he succeeded Cardinal John Baptist Wu in 2002. Ad multos annos, Your Eminence. Catholic priests in Kazakhstan celebrated Holy Mass on Thursday for all who died in the recent brutal crackdown by the military on civilian protesters. In last week's mayhem, close to 200 people lost their lives, prompting Archbishop Tomasz Peta of the Archdiocese of Mary Most Holy in Astana, the nation's capital, to appeal to the clergy to celebrate Mass for the victims and also for peace. During his address to believers on January the 10th, the prelate urged citizens to do everything possible to peacefully resolve the crisis. The Archbishop himself celebrated Holy Mass in the Cathedral of Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Astana for those who died. Protests broke out in the country on January the 2nd, after the government announced its decision to remove subsidies on vehicle fuel. This caused petrol prices to double, giving rise to anger across the country. Gradually, the protests turned into an anti-government demonstration, prompting the military to crack down on the masses. Human Rights Watch has published its World Report 2022, in which it has said that the Chinese government has intensified repression at home, as well as the use of what it calls hostage diplomacy and wolf warrior diplomacy abroad. The report says that President Xi Jinping's new era has entrenched oppression across the country. Since 2021, the Chinese government has tightened ideological control and has increasingly cracked the whip on freedom of speech. In March last year, Beijing passed a law that penalises those who slander national heroes and martyrs with 3 years in jail. The communist government in Beijing has also cracked down on dissent and free speech in Hong Kong by implementing a draconian national security law in June 2020. Using this law, the authorities have detained more than 150 people, including pro-democracy activists and journalists. Catholics in the United States are all set to conduct the annual 9 Days for Life novena, which includes prayers, penance and pilgrimages to petition for the abolition of abortion in the country. Marking the 10th year of the pro-life event, which is organised and sponsored by the Committee on Pro-Life Activities of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, the initiative will commence on January the 19th. In a statement issued on the 12th of January, the US bishops called the faithful to take part in, quote, an opportunity for remembrance and healing in commemoration of the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court's decision that legalized abortion in the United States. The novena's overall goal is to put an end to abortion. During the 9 days, each daily intention will focus on a related issue, and it includes a reflection, educational information, and daily action suggestions. On January the 22nd, the novena incorporates the annual day of prayer for the legal protection of unborn children. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.